What's up, Honolulu Blues listeners? This episode is sponsored by the app Autograph. Use the code GOLIONS, one word, when you sign up. The only app that scours all social media platforms to bring you all of your favorite team's content, keeping you as up to date with the Lions news as Dan Campbell himself. Autograph also has fee-free tickets. Yeah, you heard me. Stop buying $100 tickets with $300 worth of fees added on top. It's time we start to normalize not paying for fees on our tickets. Go to the app Autograph to get your fee-free ticket. Autograph's co-founder, Tom Brady, is also giving away a signed TB12 football. To get entries to win it, just go to Autograph and play in their Survivor Pool Weekly Challenge. Earn an entry for every week you correctly guess an NFL team that will win. If you lose one week, no biggie. Just come back next week and try again. Earn up to 18 entries, and maybe you will have a Tom Brady signed football at your house. Just download the app Autograph and use the code GOLION. Hello, hello, hello. It's a somber day. Since we last saw each other, our gritty tiggies, our gritty kitties, whatever the heck you wanted to call them, were eliminated in a Game 5. And it was brutal. Tariq Skubal on the mound, bases loaded. Lane Thomas got the better of them. Red Wings have dropped three of their first four. So, yeah, 3 of the first 4. And then when all looked merry and bright, the Lions were kicking ass and taking names. Nothing could go wrong. The wind and the air was sucked out of Michigan for the second straight day in as many days. The second time in as many days. Aiden Hutchinson broke his tibia, and it's one of the worst videos I've ever seen. And we're just going to jump right into it. It's not a video of the skirmish. Adam, obviously, for everyone watching, we're here without Julius. He still hasn't recovered from watching the video and seeing Hutch go down. So it's just Adam and I today. Adam, talk to me, brother.
Dude, oh my gosh. Like, this win was so good. We were beating the hell out of the Cowboys. We were very close, like 2 drives away from just not even having Hutch in the game.
Yep.
Honestly, we probably didn't even need to by the looks of our offense and defense, but there was still plenty of time left. So, you got to kind of keep your starters in. Anyways, the Hutch injury itself, I didn't catch it at first. My mom quickly texted me, "Oh my gosh, did you see it? He was mouthing, 'It's broke, it's broke.'" And then my buddy in a group chat said, he was like, "Holy shit, did you guys see that? That was disgusting." And you can't really see it when they do the live replay. But if you notice it, then you obviously notice it. But if you're just watching it, you don't really see his leg just like whoosh, like snap. But in slow-mo, in all the pictures, you can see like the bone pop into the skin, just the snap. And man, that's what happens when you have Aleem McNeil falling into your leg. So probably the worst thing other than Goff, I would say, that could happen to the Lions and or Detroit sports at the moment.
Yeah. It was so brutal, dude. Like, that it's always something versus Dallas, isn't it? It's always something versus Dallas, dude. Every single time we leave that game, there's something, dude. It's something. And to be honest, I would have traded a loss. You know what I mean? I'd have lost that game and been pissed off and irritated on this show, but with a healthy Hutch. Hutch, man,
he's gonna be all right. They said he could be back for the Super Bowl, right? He could be back for the Super Bowl.
I hope so.
If he's able to be back for the Super Bowl, would you want him? Like, would you be like, yeah, I don't care about like preparation or anything like that. Like, get out here.
My little like Lions, Michigan biasy optimism. Here's what I got going. Hutch is a workout warrior. His body is just built for recovery. So if there's one guy to have this type of injury on the Lions and come back the quickest, come back to exact form, I do think it is Hutch. So hopefully that is the case. If this is it, he doesn't play a single game, still doesn't, feel ready if we're in the Super Bowl. It is what it is. I'm 100% confident he will be back to himself next year, looking exactly like how he is. At least we got a few weeks to decide if we're going to make a trade or not. We could play the Vikings. If we beat the Vikings, I think that'll change. This is a huge game this week, which we'll get into. But yeah, that Hutch injury was breathtaking. It was truly like one of those, no, this did not happen. No way. And you're hoping and praying, and sure enough, we all saw the recaps, the videos, the pictures, and you're just like in disbelief that the regular season, most likely the playoffs, and probably the Super Bowl, if we get there, possibly, is gone. And it's just like, oh man, this isn't a 3 to 4 week injury. This is the whole season. Devastating.
Hutch always seemed to like put all of his. He would like dangle his. I've noticed that he would dangle his legs almost and grab and use his upper body strength to rip the quarterback down. And it was that he's got it. He can't let his feet just flail out like that.
Right. Yeah.
But you brought up a good point. Was we have a couple weeks to trade or to see if we want to trade now. Adam, is there anyone that you're really looking for that to join in the trade? Julius, welcome in, dude. Welcome into the show. I was just asking Adam who we thought we might want to trade for if there was anyone on his mind. Adam.
Darius Smith is the one dude that comes to mind. Ironically, I believe Colton Pouncey just posted this. He was quoted in an interview saying that he heard about Hutch injury, was hoping Hutch healthy recovery. And then he said, if I were traded to Detroit, I could play against the Packers and Vikings 4 times. And he goes, that's something I, want to do, as he's a ex-Packer and Viking. So another little interesting tidbit there.
So you're all on the Za'Darius Smith. Welcome in, Julius. I figured that you were still heartbroken over the Hutch injury where you just didn't even want to show up on the show. So I told everyone that you were just crying at home by yourself, but you would be back. But you're back. You picked yourself up. You know what I mean? This is what all Lions fans have to do, what Julius just did. He picked himself off the floor, and he made it to the show. Julius, good to see you, my brother. Talk to me about Aiden Hutchinson, my man. Let's get right to it.
I mean, there's pretty much not much else for me to say at this point. You guys probably already didn't say, or people hadn't been saying all week. He's gone. I mean, he's not playing no more this season. So we have to adjust to life without him, or not adjust. And that's what we're going to find out this Sunday against the Vikings, how we adjust.
We sure will. And I'll ask you the same question I just asked Adam. Was there anyone in your mind that you're hoping the Lions go out to get?
Yeah, I really like. I wouldn't mind Hassan Reddick or Max Crosby. Both of those guys are elite on the edge, but probably Hassan Reddick. That's probably number 1 on my wish list, I guess. Most realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also there was some talks or the Lions reached out about him or something of that nature, right?
That's the weird part, because we did reach out to him. But there is a clause in the trade the Eagles made with the Jets where that 3rd round pick that the Jets had to give up would become a 2nd round pick that they would have to give up if he's traded to an NFC team. So,
what? I did not know that.
A lot of people are pretty much saying Hassan Reddick's out of the question, but we did inquire about him. So I don't know.
So I am not on I don't think we need to trade for anyone. And I think it's the spicy take. I think it's I'm on a lonely island. And it's very similar to what I felt with last year at the trade deadline when everyone was pushing for Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Hindsight, yeah, I wish we would have traded for Montez Sweat. That guy's a beast. Like I would have gave up a third or second round for him. But we did just fine without him. And our defensive line was nowhere near. I mean, I know we had Hutch, but we did not have DJ Reader. And I just feel like this team is not. It's not built off of guys that have went and established themselves elsewhere, outside of maybe Jared Goff, maybe David Montgomery. Other than that, we don't go picking players that have been established to come in here and be a lifeblood. Now we got like guys like Zeitler and Reader, but they're 1 year deals, 1 or 2 year deals. Like these aren't like they're good pieces, but they aren't the foundation. If we go and trade away 2 first rounds and a second round, or 3 first rounders for Max Crosby, you're trading away 3 vital foundational pieces that will be on your team for 5 years to go get Max Crosby to mortgage the entire future for the Super Bowl right now. And honestly, boys, the way that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell has been building this team, I think we're just fine. And honestly, even if we don't win the Super Bowl this year, which is not what I want, but even if we don't, to be all honest, I think having those first rounders, the second and third round, moving forward is going to be more important. I think the Isaiah Thomas signing from the Bengals we'll see a lot of him along with the Saginaw Valley State kid. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Lewaski or something like that, right?
Lewaski, yeah. Him and Houston are supposed to be getting the hair time to shine. So if one steps up, I will be ecstatic.
We've all been wanting Houston to step up, and I get that Dan Campbell's like, he's not a 4-down guy. He can't stop the run. He's only a pass rusher. If he just comes in and gets 8 sacks in the next 7 games like he did his first year, then I'm happy, dude. I don't know. If our run game, like we have such a stacked run defense with our linebackers that if we allow a little bit of extra rushing yards to our left side, but can get the sack pressure on the third down plays, that's so much more important to me. So I don't know. I'm hoping. Do you guys think Houston steps up? That was my next question. We'll go with Adam. What do you think about Houston?
Well, it's tough because no one can replace Hutch.
Right.
I will remember you.
Oh gosh, yes. No one can replace our boy.
I will remember you.
I'm always gonna remember him, dude. Don't ever leave me, Hutch.
Houston, it's his time to shine. Like this is it, bro. This is your big moment. I feel like he's gonna crash and burn and just not look good at all, or I feel like he's going to be a 8-sack superstar, just elite guy who we thought he was going to be. I don't see him doing, solid production, so to speak. So Houston, I'm a little more optimistic. He is going to turn it up, knowing that like this is his shot. He could earn so much money if he plays, very well these last, regular season games. So Houston, fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's take Houston all the way over to Germany. Julius, what do you think about James Houston? Do you think he can produce at where Adam isn't saying like at least just a competent level, or do you think he's where Adam is saying where he's either going to be high or he's going to be low?
Yeah, I agree with Adam. He's pretty boom or bust. We just haven't saw him dominate, not even dominate. We haven't saw him succeed on the edge since his rookie season. Mm-hmm. So I have to see it to believe it. I have to see James Houston get a sack or just play a half a game on the edge successfully in order for me to buy in to James Houston.
Got you. Okay.
We don't really got nobody. We don't have nobody.
Yeah, but I don't know.
We got a bunch of question marks right now.
We've literally lost 3 of our top 5, 6 defensive ends between Hutch, Davenport, and Kaminsky. who didn't even play.
All I'm saying is last year we had freaking question marks all throughout the defense, and we still made the NFC Championship. We had Kindle Vildor and Cam Sutton as our starting cornerbacks in the NFC Championship game on the road in San Francisco with Ife Melifonwu as the starting safety. None of those guys are seeing the field. Obviously, Cam's not even on the team, but this is my point is that, like, defense doesn't come down to stars. It doesn't come down to stars, in my opinion. Maybe wide receivers, maybe definitely quarterback, really, like running back. I can see all of that stuff. When it comes to defense, I don't think you need 11 stars. I think you need 11 guys bought in on the same play for 70 to 80 plays a game. And if that is having a Saginaw Valley State kid start at edge opposite of Josh Paschal as our edge rushers, I don't think that's worse than having Kindle Vildor and Cam Sutton start at cornerback and being in every game. That's why I don't think we need to go out and get them. Am I wrong, or do I have? Am I right? Anyone? No one's got any take on it. You guys all want the stars. You're like, give me Max fucking Crosby right now, Nick. Stop talking.
I don't know. I think this game alone is going to you'll have a great idea of what the Lions are going to do after this game. If we win,
I agree.
I highly doubt we make a trade. If we lose, and Sam Darnold has days to pass, which he's had like top 5 most time in the pocket for all the quarterbacks right now. So if Sam Darnold just kind of sits in the pocket, dices them up, I would expect us to do something. But if we win this game, even if Sam Darnold does do that, I still don't think we do anything really.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. We'll see after this week. We have a couple of games coming. Like we have Vikings this week. Then we have a pretty easy game against the Titans. Then we're looking at Packers and we're looking at Texans on the road for 3 of those 4 games. It's a brutal point of our schedule. But we did just get through the first part of it because at one point it was 4 out of the next 5 games. The first one being in Dallas, and we Wally-lopped them, boys. I know it's a somber victory, but let's talk about the good, dude. Let's talk about the good. Let's start with freaking, oh my God, I can't remember his name from Sonic. Who is the mad scientist? Jim Carrey plays him in Sonic. Adam,
Eggman. Yeah, Eggman.
Yeah, there we go, boys. Thank you. Let's start with our very own Ben Johnson, dude. He is a mad scientist. I don't know how deep the bag goes, but he had 3 pass plays drawn up for his offensive lineman, one being a flea flicker or a catch and a hook and ladder. I mean, we also had a flea flicker touchdown with Sam Laporta. Just an immense amount of crazy play calls. What do you guys think about Ben Johnson? Like right now at the moment, Julius, what do you think about him?
I think he has the well-oiled machine going, right? The Lions offense, in my opinion, as long as the offensive line stays somewhat intact, then we got the 2 running backs, Sonic and Knuckles, in this offense with this playbook, we can win any game with that formula right there. With this offense, with this offensive line, with our running backs, our running game, we can win any game. With Jared Goff commanding the offense, maybe even Hendon Hooker. I mean, it remains to be seen that this offensive line can insulate other players, even quarterbacks. I think that, everything's rolling. As long as he has the personnel, the offensive line is to me, that's the key. That's the it factor. And Aiden Hutchinson was like the it factor for defense. That's why I'm scared. That's why this Minnesota game is so telling. Literally, if we lose not because of Ben Johnson in the offense, one of the best in the league currently, Super Bowl driven, but because of the defense that's all of a sudden doesn't have the defensive player of the year on it. If we lose because of that defense, we need to go and replace whatever caused that. If that's Aiden Hutchinson's absence, we need to get aggressive on the trade market.
Yeah.
We'll see in Minnesota. We'll see.
I love Julius. We'll only talk about Aiden Hutchinson. We start with the Ben Johnson question and we end with the Aiden.
Right, it morphed right into it.
Adam, I'm going to stick with Ben Johnson for you. Fully expecting for you to get into Aiden Hutchinson talk still too. Were you excited, or were you concerned, I guess, excited or concerned that Ben Johnson went that deep into his bag week 6? Like, we've already seen all these trick plays by week 6. Like, how many more does he have left? Do we have a long season left? Like, how do you feel about that?
So Ben Johnson,
I will remember you.
no, but Ben Johnson, thankfully, injured. Or if Ben Johnson, oh man, if he ever got injured, the good news is I feel like he would be able to call from a hospital bed or wherever he is. Knock on wood, nothing crazy happens to him. But Ben Johnson, I'm so excited because he's starting to run so many trick plays that teams are at the point, I truly believe, where they're like, all right, well, I know we got to keep an eye on Jahmyr Gibbs and James Williams, Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, but watch number 58. And they'll be like, their defensive or their offensive tackle. And like, yeah, this dude could catch a touchdown pass at any moment. Also, 68 as well. And if you see 70 report, it's good, it's going to be a pass. So I think there is more like concern for trickery to go on, and I feel like teams might hurt them just because they might be over expecting something to happen, and Ben Johnson will do everything at the right time. He's not going to overdo his trick plays. He even said the well goes deep. I think he has even more trick plays that would have nothing to do with hook and laterals or flea flickers that he has dialed up. Maybe hook and laterals because that's kind of a big part. But I think we're going to see more. I think there's more up his sleeve. I don't think it'll be to this extent. I think he was truly just out there having fun, wanting to see if, we could get an offensive lineman touchdown or see if something just worked like perfectly that he might run again in a playoff game in a NFC North divisional matchup. So Ben Johnson, I am so excited for it. And he is like a Detroit Lions highlight reel.
He really is. I do concur. I think with every pass play we saw to an offensive lineman, there's 6 other plays drawn up for that exact formation. So when Taylor Decker goes out, you next thing you know, Gibbs will be running right behind him. Or there's a ton of things. Speaking of Gibbs and Montgomery, let's talk about Sonic and Knuckles. Montgomery came out before the game and was like,
"Tell him to bring me my money."
He said, "Bring me my money." And David Montgomery got paid a little extra, a little extension, and then went out and had a 2-tutty game. We love to see it. Gibbs didn't get in the end zone, but had a great day. Or did Gibbs get in the end zone? No, Gibbs didn't get in the end zone. But he still had a great day, great running. Had a bunch of receptions. Won Adam a bunch of money. So let's talk about Sonic and Knuckles, boys. Is there a better duo in the league? There's no better duo in the league, right?
No. I don't think so. Not
who would be comparable? Who would be like number 2? Like, does anyone off the top of their head, can they think of anything that's even close? Like Breece Hall,
running backs or wide receivers?
Like, say it again.
Running backs only.
Yeah. Like Derrick Henry, Justice Hill.
No.
You know what I mean? Like Jordan Mason, Christian McCaffrey could be pretty close.
Maybe, yeah.
But they don't play. So I just want to know, like, we're the best, right? We're the best.
1-2 firepower, pound for pound. Lions the best.
We've got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary right here, dude. It's an Anchorman quote. All right, sweet. Let's move on to our big boy J-Mo. Had a sick reception, deep ball. This one, like, the Lions were just running away at this point. This was almost the point where it was like, should we start thinking about sitting our starters? And J-Mo with just another great deep catch. Do you guys think J-Mo makes the Pro Bowl this year?
I think, okay, so here's my take. No, if we make the Super Bowl, yes, like 90% sure if we don't, because I believe he's got a great chance to be an alternative, and J-Mo being a young dude, well, I mean, if he gets asked, he's obviously gets the Pro Bowl nod, but yes, I do think there's a good chance that even if the Lions make the Super Bowl, we're making the Super Bowl because of something. It very well could be because J-Mo has, 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's very true. Julius, do you think he makes Pro Bowl?
I just think there's too many popular good receivers in the NFC, and I don't think he's going to be on that list other than injuries or something crazy happen. But never know. I mean, he's a big play machine. I mean, it just depends. It's he. I'll give him at this point of the season. I would give him like a 30% shot to make it the Pro Bowl.
That's
JMO.
fair. And I mean, let's remember, I'm on St. Brown. Oh my God, blah blah blah. ASB. I'll just try to say that was first team All Pro, but wasn't invited
Exactly.
to the
Got
Pro Bowl
snubbed.
until
Yeah.
the alternatives came out. So like, I get that. Tim
It's a
Patrick.
it's a favoritism thing. Yeah.
It surely is. It's homecoming king and queen. It most definitely is just a popularity
He
contest.
won't get the popularity vote though from all the Lions.
He is. He's getting
And-
popular.
People love JMO, dude.
They love
And
him.
if he goes off, this is my theory on how he gets it to the Pro Bowl. He goes off on Thanksgiving against Chicago for like a Randy Moss 3 catches, 3 tutties, and a $180, and he gets the thing after the turkey leg after, and they interview. And I love when JMO talks, but I don't think the world knows what JMO sounds like. And when they get to hear a JMO interview live post game with Jared Goff next to him, I think it's going to be the funniest thing. And I think people will just freak out from California to Timbuktu, dude. Like people are going to love him because he's quiet. Might be a little bit louder in Detroit. We watch interviews, we know, but he's quiet, dude. Not a lot of people like hear him talk a lot, in my opinion. But let's move over to wide receiver 3, Tim Patrick, before we get to our defense from Sunday's game. Tim Patrick came up with 3 catches, 68 yards. Did we find our wide receiver 3, boys? Like, Julius, is Tim Patrick like legit wide receiver 3 status?
Yes, he is. I mean, as long as he's healthy, he's showing us exactly what he did in Denver for like 2 or 3 seasons before he, bouncing around with injuries. Shout out to Brad Holmes for finding a decent, maybe even upgrade wide receiver 3 over Josh Reynolds. Finally, a few weeks into the season, but Tim Patrick is legit. He's a threat to score on the field at any moment, and he's a threat to catch the ball. He's a great blocker. He's a professional. I mean, it's working.
That kind of guy that I think fits Detroit. Just why I like Isaiah Thomas, like these guys that are like cast-offs, dude. I'm telling you, it just fits. Not about having the best players, but having the right player. Adam, let's go to you for defense, dude. Let's talk first and foremost before we get to the big bads. Let's talk about the big bad. That's Aleem McNeil, dude. Came out big. I thought DJ Reader was gonna be it. I picked him for my defensive MVP. I was wrong. Julius had to remind me of that on Sunday, but McNeil had a great game, dude. And then he gets an extension after. He also said, "Bring me my money." So I'm just. Oh dang! I misplayed that. Well, okay, that's just not gonna work. Cool. Anyways, what do you think about Aleem McNeil, man? How happy are you for him for the extension? How do you feel about our defense? Where do you think? Do you think maybe we can move him to the edge? Like, what do you think, Adam?
Oh no, moving to the edge would be insane if we played like a 3-4, Liam on one end, TJ Reader in the middle, and someone else on the left. It wouldn't be worth it would be worth a shot. So it would be very interesting. Aleem, super happy we got the 4-year extension. He's now the 4th highest paid defensive tackle. A lot of people are thinking, oh my gosh, he got paid so much money. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But it's like, and for now, it's going to look like a good amount. But I guarantee you by the end of the year or halfway through next year, he will be one of the best value defensive tackles or just playing up to that, 4th overall status, I guess. So Aleem, happy for him. The defense was looking amazing. DJ Reader, Aleem, they're just great. No, like plugs essentially. Rico Dowell, not like that. I was scared of him or Ezekiel Elliott did like nothing. They each had like 30 and 5, rush yards. Zeke did nothing until garbage time when he was playing our backups. Dak looked terrible, didn't have time to throw it, had a classic just Dak blow-up game. We saw Brian Branch have that amazing snag in the end zone. That's how you know you have a true superstar, when you get players like that reading the quarterback, dropping back, and laying out for an interception. So I think we do have a true all-pro in Brian Branch. He might not make it this year just because some other studs might, such as Kirby Johnson. Honestly, has 4 interceptions now. He's looking even better than he has the last couple of years. So the defense, the secondary, it's like flip flop now. We had a weak our secondary last year and a great defensive line. Now without Hutch, I think the defensive line is going to be a little suspect, and our secondary has been looking better and better.
It's a good thing we locked down Aleem then, because he is a beast. Speaking of Brian Branch, Julius, what did you think about the NFC Defensive Player of the Week? Not ours, but the Lions MVP, I would say, Brian Branch.
I thought Brian Branch was excellent. He was just what we needed after losing Hutch, honestly. You try to look for some other star power that we already have on defenses. And Brian Branch is definitely that. Maybe he steps up his game. Him, Jack Campbell, another guy, these guys can just make more plays without with Aiden Hutchinson not there. And I think Brian Branch is really going to do that over these next few weeks. He's just as capable of. I mean, if he put a few game stretch in a row like he played last game, he's just as capable of All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year recognition. I mean, Brian Branch is probably the best pound for pound natural football player on the entire team.
Yeah, I would say so. Is he our new? No, Kirby would probably be the new front runner for Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL.
Defensive Player of the Year? Yeah,
Defensive Player of the Year, dude. Kirby could do it, dude.
Well, like I said, if he plays another game, a big game in Minnesota, who's going to step up? No Aiden Hutchinson. Could most definitely be Branch. We were talking about, Aiden Hutchinson, the low-hanging fruit for the Defensive Player of the Week pick every week. Who's the new front runner? In my opinion, you got to think about Brian Branch every week now.
Yeah, Brian Branch, Aleem McNeil, Kirby Joseph. There are a lot of good boys. Terrion Arnold started playing well. Last thing I want to talk about Dallas, before I let you guys get anything off your chest that we didn't talk about. We got to see first actual live NFL snaps and reps for our boy Hendon Hooker. Not too many passes, a lot more running. A couple of them to Sion Baki, which was really cool to see him gashing his way around a little bit. Any thoughts on Hendon Hooker from what you guys saw? Was anyone even still watching at that point? And if so, did we see Hendon Hooker in any kind of throws that we liked, didn't like? Adam, I'll let you go first.
He seemed ready for it, which is good, because he didn't, look flustered. He scrambled a couple times. Yeah, it was mostly run plays, but I want to say he did have a nice throw over the middle where he connected with probably Cliff Raymond or someone. But he looked all right. It wasn't a whole lot of playing time, but it was nice to see him get his feet wet, especially in Dallas, where, they probably still had some decent guys out there, but then again, probably not how bad they have been this year. So it's good to get his feet wet, and, it's a nice little victory cigar. So you always love seeing your backup play when your starter's healthy.
Agreed, 100%. And Julius, I don't know, did you see anything about Hooker you wanted to talk about?
I thought he looked pretty comfortable. I'm very glad to see his first major regular season reps come in a blowout win, other than a blowout loss.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I didn't even think about that. I thought you were about to go with the injury way, but no, you're right. If it was 47-9 Cowboys, it would be sucking to see Hooker. I'd be like, anything from the Cowboys games, Julius, Cowboy game, Julius, that you wanted to talk about that we did not get to? You said your brother was there, right?
Yeah, my brother was there. He was live.
Was he the one gritty by that girl who was throwing up?
No, that wasn't him, but it could have definitely been him. Yeah. But no, that wasn't. But evidently, from all reports, he had a blast, and Lions fans took over Jerry World. And you know what? We took it over 3 times before I had been there in the last decade. We had lost each of those, but we took it over, and they got the victory this time. And I know for Lions fans down there in Dallas, it was sweet.
It was
sweet.
Love that. Adam, any last words on the Cowboys game before we flip it to the Vikings?
Not really. Outside of the Hutch injury, it was just so awesome to watch. Every moment of it was fun. I walked away into the kitchen for 2 seconds, and then I came back, and I'm like, we're kicking the ball off. What? I thought I'm like looking at the clock and I'm like, when I see the score, I'm like, do we just score? It's like, yeah, J-Lo scored. You didn't hear me hollering? And I was like, no, what? So I literally missed that J-Mo touchdown because it just happened so fast. Our offense was just looking great.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping so bad that it can continue into Minnesota this week.
I agree 100%. Was I the only one who didn't realize that it was on Jerry Jones' birthday for the longest time? I think that's the best thing. I think it was his 121st birthday, and we just got to like bury him 6 feet under. And then he got we pissed him off so much that he was yelling at the guys who interview him every week on the radio show at the Fan down in Dallas. Oh, I love it, dude. About time. He freaking paid the refs in the playoffs. He freaking paid the refs last year. I'm all about a big victory. Let's flip the script. Let's go to the next game. We have a huge game upcoming. This is the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings versus the 4-1 Detroit Lions. And this is not only for first place of the NFC North. This is for first place of the NFC. The entire conference. This is where the Lions can set themselves up, where it's up to them. They control their own destiny. If we can win this game, just go 16-1 and make the playoffs. You'll be number one seed. This is for the number one in the NFC and the NFC North. This is a huge divisional game. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to kind of jump in a few things that I've noticed first. The defenses are so similar. The Minnesota Vikings have basically the second worst pass defense in the NFL. The Lions on paper have the worst. We have let up the most targets per game, the most receptions per game, the most yards per game to opposing receivers. Minnesota's one behind us on everything. They're 31st. Yet our run defenses, we're the third best run defense, I think it is, yards per game. Minnesota's 4th. There's a lot of similarities when it comes to Kevin O'Connell and Ben Johnson and their way they make plays, the way that Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell can draw the best out of guys like Sam Darnold, like guys that we thought were dead, and they go into these offenses, they can succeed. Very similar to how Jared Goff did in Detroit. I've been nervous of the Vikings for a while. I think Kevin O'Connell is like the third or fourth best coach in the NFL. I think right now he's better than Sean McVay. I truly do. I think after Sean McVay won his Super Bowl, he has digressed like immensely. And Kevin O'Connell is only getting better. So boys, like that's kind of everything I wanted to say just to get off the rip. Do you think that the Vikings, so this is my question, and we'll start with Adam. Do you think the Vikings have enough to finish second in the division?
I don't. I don't know. I'm a big Sam Darnold hater. Don't believe in him. I feel like he's going to turn back into a pumpkin. I feel like this is going to be the start of kind of the downfall for the Vikings. I feel like I'm incredibly jinxing it as well too as I speak. I feel like Freezing Cold Takes is gonna clip this and post it in a week or a month or whatever. But I don't know. Sam Darnold, he just has never been good. I know he's 2-0 against the Lions with two different teams, ironically, Jets and Panthers. Both of those games were just kind of weird, fluky-ish types games, both blowouts essentially. But Sam Darnold, man, I don't know. He didn't look great in that Jets game a week ago in London. He started to kind of get shaky. The Vikings as a team are really good, but if you just don't have a great quarterback or a good quarterback that can facilitate like a Brock Purdy type caliber where it's just like pretty good, not always the best, but still pretty good, then you're going to struggle. And I feel like that's been Sam Darnold. He's been pretty good, has been able to get his feet wet, do good for the Vikings. But I feel like we've got some tape on him now. And I know that's kind of weird saying tape on him as he's had prior tape with the Jets, plenty of that, and even the Panthers. But now you've seen him in Viking schemes and
Kevin O'Connell,
how, Kevin O'Connell uses him who he looks to with the Vikings. So it's kind of a different ball game. I do feel like the Lions kind of take it to the Vikings this week. But I'm more worried about the Packers. And honestly, the Bears are kind of creep it up, even though all 4 of their wins have come against the 1-loss teams. But still, never know. But right now, no, I don't think the Vikings will finish second.
So then, Julius, and you can feel free to answer that question as well if you have a take on if you think the Vikings will finish second or if you think the Packers will or not. But my question for you is Justin Jefferson. We're gonna go from them Sam Darnold to Justin Jefferson, who I believe finished with 1,500 yards against the Lions last year in the 2 games combined. Maybe it was 1,800. I can't remember. He went off every single time. It was brutal. And every time Justin Jefferson steps on a field against the Lions, it is gross. And now we have Carlton Davis, who's a lot better than anyone we've had previously against them. But Justin Jefferson, man, Julius, tell me, how do you think we stop him? How, do you think we stop him, or is there just let him cook? What are your thoughts on Jefferson and the Lions?
I think we have to stop him to win because I am not worried. I think the Lions defense can make Minnesota one-dimensional, where they shut down the little fancy run game they got going with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, F it, throw it up to JJ. And when they get to that point, Kirby, Brian Branch, Terrion Arnold, bless his heart, is going to need to do everything to stop him from winning the game, from them winning the game that way. And this is where I agree with Adam, where I think the game could get out of hand for the Vikings. Because, they playing the big dogs. That's what the Lions game is. If you look at the Vikings, they kind of base themselves off the Lions. They try to build with this dominant offensive line with Christian Darrisaw instead of Penei Sewell. And they got a one dominant receiver. They got the Jared Goff clone and Sam Darnold. They kind of try to have a similar Kevin O'Connell, Ben Johnson. It's very similar.
Right.
And I think that the Lions defense is better equipped to handle that, make it one-dimensional, and play to win than the Minnesota's defense is on the Lions offense.
Okay, now Minnesota has 11 interceptions. You're not
right?
You're not worried at all about
they've had some good games, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think we are the true test for Minnesota. I think this. I'll go back to last week with the Jets game. Like Adam mentioned, Sam Darnold didn't look all that. I mean, they pretty much did the same thing that I just mentioned. They just threw it up to JJ after the run game couldn't get going.
Yeah.
He damn near lost. If it wasn't for Jets giveaways, that's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not even gonna call it. They got 11 takeaways. Yeah. They got 11 giveaways too. Now, I don't think the Lions gonna give it away that easy, but it's just my opinion.
And I like it. Adam, let's get into our keys of the game. We got 3 keys to victory. Give me 3 of them, or a couple of them, or one of them, however many.
Don't turn the ball over, because the Vikings have picked off, I'm pretty sure everyone they played, but how they beat the 49ers, Texans, and Packers were all off of interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud threw his first interception and his second interception in 350 or 300 something amount of pass attempts. It was a ridiculous amount. He was getting close to the Tom Brady marker, whoever has it.
Remember when Goff was close to that?
He was so close. He was so close.
So close.
But yeah, so Vikings force turnovers. They get a lot of sacks. They sacked Brock Purdy 4 times. CJ Stroud, I think 5 or 6 times, and that's how they get their wins. So the offensive line can do their job, and Jared Goff plays smart. Offensive line, key number 1. Jared Goff, no turnovers, key number 2. And then just honestly, Ben Johnson, good offensive, game plan. I feel like if Ben Johnson can get it going, he'll pick someone to become the superstar of the day. And it usually turns out well when Ben Johnson's, on his game. So hopefully, if it's through the pass or the rush, whatever, those are my 3.
Love it. Julius, you got 3 keys to victory? Sweet.
Yep. Number 1 key to victory, don't let JJ beat you by himself. Do not be the sole reason we lose because we got into a shootout with Justin Jefferson. Just don't let it happen. Key to victory number 2, run game galore. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles, offensive line. I don't care if Zietler is out. I'm confident in my boy Awasaka. What's the backup guard?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Kawadi.
He played really well against Dallas, though.
They got a nice culture in Detroit in that offensive line. Hank Fraley, I'm confident that we can run the ball. And last but not least, number 3, the battle of the minds. Ben Johnson versus you know what? Ben Johnson, I think he kind of introduced himself to the world last week against Dallas. National televised game. Had Tom Brady on the commentary calling this guy like a genius. Oh, I'll play for him any day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Ben Johnson is arriving. And I think this could be another Ben Johnson game where, maybe we can't stop Justin Jettis on defense. Maybe we get 8 alive. He got 300 receiving yards, and we need Ben Johnson to score us another 40-burger. Ben Johnson, offense, let's go.
I love that, dude. Yeah, one thing I did not have my bingo card for 2024 was Tom Brady saying he would love to play quarterback for the Detroit Lions. That was surreal. My 3 keys to victory. Number 1, Minnesota has tailed 3 minutes. The whole 2024 season, they've tailed. They've been losing for 3 minutes the whole season. Get to an early lead, dude. Like, I don't care about getting that ball at halftime. I want that ball first. I want to be in mini, and I want to shut them up early. I want Monty to just go down there and run through. Score first, score early. Number 2, Minnesota has allowed the 4th highest sack rate this season. Compared with Sam Darnold, has the 2nd most pocket time this season per pass out of every quarterback in the NFL. The dude is a statue at quarterback, and the Vikings can't protect him for 3 seconds because, honestly, no offensive line really can protect a quarterback for 3 seconds. So even without Hutch, we need to get pressure. And if that includes like blitzing Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph and Carlton Davis and Terrion Arnold and Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone, do it, dude. Let's get to Sam and put him on his ass. Number 3, run game. They have, like I mentioned, Minnesota has one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Same with Detroit. But if we can knock them on their ass, even off of them coming off of a bye week, they're all well rested. They're at home. They're like, man, I might get some Culvers before the game today. Then just go ram it down their throat. Like, I want the run game. I want both running backs to have 100 yards. And everyone thinks it's going to be a huge passing game because both pass defenses are so bad. I don't want it to be like that. I want everyone to think that, and then I want Gibbs and Monty to just literally eat them up on the ground. Those are my 3 keys to victory. Put pressure on, run the ball really well, and then take an early lead. Let's get to our fun prediction game, where last week Adam got 2 points. He guessed the Lions would win, and he had Hutch as defensive MVP. And because Julius had Levi Onzawerke and I had DJ Reader, no one had Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph or any of the thing like that. Hutch, with his 1 sack, wins defensive MVP.
Sad victory.
Sad victory. Where's the thing? Give it to me, Adam. Give it to me.
You need it.
I need it. Oh, here we go.
I will remember you.
One more.
I will remember you.
God, it's so sad. Julius took home a victory last week, scoring 3 points. He had the Lions. He also had a 35-17 score, which was closest to the, 86-2 or whatever our final score was. We whooped their ass, and Julius knew that was going to happen. He also had Monty as his offensive MVP, and Mr. Two Tutty definitely took that home over Goff, who I had. I got 1 point last week. I just guessed the Lions would win, and that's all I was good at. So because I only got 1 point last week, I'll get picking first this time. Adam will pick second. Julius will pick third, and a score update, which next week, hopefully I'll have it up on our screen so everyone can see. It'll be this cool little like scoreboard update. But for now, Nick's got 9 points. Adam's got 9 points. Julius has 10 points, and this is fun. I like that we decided to do this game because this is fun. I'm going to pick the Lions win. Oh, wait, hold on. I need a pencil. No, I need a pen. There I go. Look at my awesome background. My backdrop. Okay. I'm going Lions victory. Vikings, Lions 28 28-17 Lions. Offensive MVP will be Amon-Ra St. Brown. Defensive MVP will be Kirby Joseph. Adam, you're next.
I will say we did have one and only one comment. Shout out to Laporta supporter. I said Lions 42-27, got the 40 piece right. And then he said Montgomery and Hutch. So
He would have won, dude. He would have won a lot of points.
12 p.m. before the game started.
Way to be supporter Laporta. Supporter.
Sorry, Nick. I was looking at it. What'd you say?
That's fine. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Kirby.
Ooh. Oh, I wanted to take Kirby. I thought you were going to take Branch. Oh, All right, well, we'll start with offense first. I do think we are going to have to get this done on the passing attack. I like Jared Goff. He's been doing well, played very good his last 2 games. Weird stat going out there. Jared Goff is 4-0 when he completes exactly 18 passes. So let's go 18 for whatever. Just complete 18 exactly passes, and the Lions will get the win. So Jared Goff, offensive MVP, score the game. I'm going to go 34-13 Lions. And defensive MVP, I'm just going to go Brian Branch. You can't go wrong.
Oh, I didn't.
I will remember you.
Did that on accident, but when that plays, man, it just hits the soul, dude. Julius, you didn't even get to see this other one. Real quick, everyone, pause 13 seconds before Julius picks. Watch this, Julius. It was a sad and somber start to the show. That's what that you missed, brother. Anyways, Julius, you're gonna cap us off. Who do you got? What do you got?
So just to clarify, your 2 defensive MVPs, we got the safeties, Kirby and Branch. Go on.
Correct.
Okay, so I get the Lions in a victory, and I have the score Lions 35, Vikings 20. Lions make a fucking statement, right? We make a statement. That's what I'm believing in, and I think it's more than possible to happen. Offensive MVP. Yeah, we've got Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff so far.
Correct.
I'm going quite easily with my main man, David Montgomery, Knuckles himself. A possible 3-touchdown game for David Montgomery. Get your betting books out. Defensive MVP. This is harder. This is definitely harder. Y'all took both of my choices. So it's all of a sudden the Lions got the best safety duo in the league. So that we're pushing everything off of. It pretty much comes down to 2 guys for me at this point, and it's Jack Campbell, Levi O. And I went with Levi O a couple times, kind of got gutted, but then he have a good week when I don't go with him. I'm going to go Jack Campbell, defensive MVP. We drafted you in the first round of Iowa for a reason, my son. Deliver us.
Deliver us from evil. All right.
Aiden Hutchinson despair.
Dude. The week after we talked about Aiden Hutchinson being guaranteed number 1 pick every single week in this thing, too. It's just
he's still leading the NFL in sacks despite having a bye week
and playing half a game.
Yeah.
Adam, run us out.
As always, check us out at Honolulu Blues _. We're posting all sorts of good stuff. Check out Julius at the 5th Top, Nick at Nick Faber NFL. Give us a like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you are watching or listening. But as always, go.